Church, we live in a time by which we are saturated with the teachings, the concepts and philosophies of the me generation. We are people constantly searching and questing for self-fulfillment, for self-advantage. We worship often at the we, my, and I temple. We have become a self-centered generation. When we began this series, I suggested to you that we have an opportunity to refresh and reappraise our personal agenda. I believe if you want something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done. And while millions of us are hungry for new results, we are not ready for new activity. We like to have the great favor of God. We want to enjoy and to experience the very best that He has to offer. But we have problems with this dichotomy of results and responsibility. We like the results, but we do not want to take any responsibility. For our actions, we blame others. For being a catalyst or a stimulus, somebody else made me do it. If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have said what I said. It's really your fault. If you hadn't done what you've done to me, then I wouldn't have done what I did to you. We want to put the problem on somebody else. Well, I want to make this announcement. You are in control of you. And most of us are battling life with a I problem. Not E-Y-E, just capital I. Let me ask you some questions as we pursue this passage today. If somebody else had been managing your life with the results that you received based on where you are now, would you let them continue to be your manager? And if you're not afraid to be honest, many of you would agree with me that you would have fired them 100 times before. You wouldn't take from anybody else what you've tolerated from yourself. And I told you before, we love to excuse ourselves and accuse others. And you've done more damage to your own life than most of the people you know all put together. So if they deserve some fault, then you surely deserve some fault. My brothers and sisters, life is a collection of choices. And where you are and what you're doing in your life at this moment is not because somebody else made choices for you. I mean, they didn't pick your husband or your wife. They didn't pick your ex-husband or your ex-wife. Those were choices you made. They didn't agree to the job that you've taken. You did. They didn't buy the car you're driving. You did. We make choices. If you pay Visa instead of American Express, you made that choice. If you go out nightly and don't pay your mortgage, you made that choice. Don't get mad when they call you about their money. Many of us have a problem being honest with ourselves, and when other people are honest with us, we won't speak to them for a month. And you know, that's what bothers me. Some people, well, now, child, you can be honest with me. Now, tell me exactly what you think. Now, you don't have to fix it. You don't have to sweeten it up. You, my friend, tell me about myself. Tell me now. And when the people tell you the truth, you get mad. And won't on. Well, I didn't know you thought that about me. Mad. We can't stand the truth. And that's why in order for some people to get along with us, they have to lie to us. Hello? Some of us, our best friends are folk who tell us lies about ourselves. Well, child, how you looking? And they really want to say, well, honey, you really don't need that. Oh, that looks pretty good. And saying to themselves, you sure need to take that off. But they know if they tell you straight. You gonna be mad with them. And first thing, well, I thought you wasn't gonna get mad. Well, but I didn't know you was gonna go that low. I didn't know that's all you thought about me. People usually don't want you to be straightforward with them about themselves. Most of us can't handle it. Because there is this competitive, rebellious element of human nature called pride and ego. Ego is the only disease that you catch, and it makes other folks sick. I mean, your ego, it don't bother you. I mean, hey, I'm confident. I mean, don't say to me get mad because I know I'm somebody. I'm aggressive. I'm focused. Everybody else around us is getting sick of your egomania, your egotism. And if we are not careful, ego can become an acronym for edging God out. Because the more you focus on you, the less you focus on God. Which is why some people are so reluctant to open up to God. They can't get with praise. They can't get with accountability. They can't get with authority of God. We're looking for individual free agencies with benefits of legal heirs. And if you want to enjoy the benefits, you got to be in compliance with God's desire for your life. And one of his desires, my brother and my sister, is for you and I, in a generation filled with competitiveness and competition and comparison, to recognize how important it is to get rid of the I problem that most of us have. If you could move yourself out of the way, you would be surprised as to what God's way, God's will, God's submission to his will could do for you. I mean, you have doubt, you are apprehensive, you are reluctant to try it, but I say to you, when you look at what you've done with your life, how much longer will you allow it to be mismanaged? I mean, do you have to be on your way to the grave before you decide that you don't know it all? I mean, in the book of James says, God opposes the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. And then Matthew tells us that if anybody wants to come after me, let him first move out the way. That's what deny himself means. And many people have serious problems with that. They don't like the argument. They don't like the position. They don't like the recommendations, and they don't like the suggestions, because they believe that if you're going to get ahead, the doctrines of our culture and the documentation of the past will suggest that only the strong survive, only the aggressive get ahead, or that the wheel that makes the most noise get all of the oil. So I can't, you hear people say, well, I can't subscribe to this theory. It's out of the box. I mean, the rest of the world does not subscribe to this. So even though I do, they're not going along with the program, so it doesn't matter what I do. Well, what you don't understand is that when God requires anything of you, he does not expect us to find the rationale for doing what he asks us in other people. In other words, if he tells you to treat somebody right, he's not telling you they are going to treat you right in return. He's just saying, I'll treat you right if you treat them right. Let me say that again because you missed it. Some of us won't treat other people right because they don't treat us right. And let me just put a pin there, because many of the complaints that I have with people who are in dispute is that they always start telling me about the other person. Well, young pastor, I understand what you're saying, but now did you hear what I told you they did to me? Yeah, I heard it. I mean, well, pastor, you know, I mean, they don't even speak to me. I heard you. Well, when I come in and they see me, they go the other way. I heard you. Well, they over there talking about me when I ain't doing that. I heard you. But did you hear me? The Lord said, don't treat them right because they're treating you right. Treat them right because I'm treating you right. And if you want me to continue to treat you right,